High, let the solar winds blow. This cosmic sea shanty is a tale we all know. Navigating constellations, charting the unknown. With the stardust in our veins, we are never alone. From the Milky Way shores to the depths of black holes, we'll sing our sea shanty as the universe unfolds. Sail up high to the galactic sky on our moonlit voyage. We'll keep reaching high. We're sailors of the cosmos, a crew full of might. Let's sing this sea shanty under starry night's light.
Hoist the sails and let the wind guide our way. We're the spacemen sailing the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Give home maze upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Oh, 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 voyage across the celestial sea. Oh.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the stream. And we just click some buttons and stuff. Yes, I'm not in uniform. I'm in a warm jacket because I'm cold. Okay. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. And the bot has been banned? No worries. Hope everyone's doing well. Anthony, Jean, Samantha, Donald, Postmatic and Postmatic, both sides of your personality. Welcome. So this is a kind of bad news stream, I suppose. Yesterday was election day in South Africa, which is whatever. However, the government has been spending an exceptional amount of money on generators and coal for the last 2 months, and stationing army people, squads, at power stations to prevent sabotage. Thank you very much for the gifted sub, Postmatic. So, so leading up to the election, there was no load shedding. None of us believed this was a forever thing, because it's a government. This is a show for everyone. So they, for the last 2 months, pretended like load shedding didn't exist by spending exceptional amounts of money and manpower in preventing sabotage and keeping generators going. The elections are over, so that's going to stop. So load shedding's going to come back, and it's probably going to come back worse than it was before it stopped. This is not a great thing, because on a day-to-day basis, I don't know when we're going to have power. So organizing streams and deciding on recording times becomes a very big problem. Like, the only reason I know that we're not having load shedding at 10 o'clock is it's 10 o'clock and we'd have power. They don't keep to their own schedules, so it becomes very difficult to schedule things. Before I was streaming, it was fine. If there was load shedding now, I'll just record a bit later. I mean, it wasn't people watching me. Oh, there's an ad going. I think. Maybe the ad's finished. Good morning, Shadowbringer. I hope you're doing well. So the most common times for load shedding in this area is 8 to 10 and 10 to 12. And that's at the lowest end of load shedding. If we're at the upper end of load shedding, it'll be 12 hours a day with no power. We have no idea what's going to happen. So I can't guarantee that we're going to stream every day. And if I can't guarantee it, I'm not going to do it. For 2 reasons. I don't want to screw you guys around. And everything, whether you're a YouTuber or a streamer, relies on predictability. So, you know that I'm going to be recording at this time 6 days a week. Or my videos come out at this time 7 days a week. That is more useful for a YouTuber than an algorithm. Even though the two are very intertwined. Well, it wasn't, I mean, the people in better areas have solar panels, so this area that I'm in now has solar panels. So in theory I could get them, but this is a rented house. The moment I put solar panels in, the owner would own them, not me. So there's no point in doing that since we're planning on moving. Now we do have backup power. Postmatic with another 5 gifted memberships. It is very much appreciated. So we do have inverters and stuff, but that only powers critical things. So the light doesn't get powered. And the other lights, this light gets powered, but these other lights don't. So recording a stream requires all the lights to be on. So it'll look crap. And then also don't know how long the power outages are going to last. So I think this is probably going to be the last stream for a good while, unless I do a random Saturday stream. But yes, so I mean, I can't guarantee anything. Yesterday, we think was load shedding. We don't really know. They did at one point, James. They go through phases. Where they find channels. So that is where we are. Like yesterday, I ended up recording at night because that's when I felt up to recording. And like today, it's cold. I need to get a proper heater because the aircon isn't warming up this room enough. So cold is not good when you're dealing with your voice. It tightens everything up. And then you can't have the heater on with load shedding. It draws way too much power. Can't have the aircon on with load shedding because it draws way too much power. So everything's going back to chaotic now. We've had a 2 month reprieve from load shedding, which is nice. But now we're heading back into the chaos that is South Africa's load shedding schedules. Not a problem. It's still appreciated, Postmatic. So that is where we are. Now, in theory, this is going to be a problem for a long term. This is only going to be a problem until we're in Portugal and we're settled, which is 2 or 3 months away. So I'm sure most of you would prefer I produce the content that brought you to the channel rather than stream and have to worry about streaming and load shedding and all of that, and just move back to where we were. It's getting there. We've got the realtor looking for a place. We should get some responses back today, tomorrow. Yes, I'm immigrating to Portugal. Thank you, Manatharian. Hope it's much appreciated. So we got the bank account open. We're waiting for the bank card to be sent to South Africa. We've got a realtor looking for rented properties in Portugal. And we're waiting for the police clearance certificates to come through. So that should all happen this week. So we've been packing the whole week because we have to put all that stuff onto a shipping container, and that takes 3 months. So the sooner we send that over, the better. Thank you, Hunted Blood. But the content's almost there already. We're 50% there with content. Yeah, 3 months. Well, I mean, they put it on a ship. Most of them, they use shipping containers, and you rent part of the shipping container. So they have to wait until the shipping container's full. Then they plonk it down into a port and wait for a decently priced ship going to the correct port on that side. So it's 3 months. Fair enough, Captain. Fair enough. So, yeah. Circumstances beyond my control are conspiring to stop the stream and make recording content a bit more difficult. But, well, it's one of the few options. That is actually the only option. There are 2 options. One, we go with a company that's going to charge us $10,000 for a proprietary software, which is 2 pallets stuck together with boards on the side, or we go with a partial shipping container. Those are really the 2 options. Anything else is going to cost an extreme amount of money. Like, if you want to put it on a plane, it's going to be ridiculous. Just to send the computers from here to there is $1,000. That's just 2 computers. No screens, just the 2 computer towers. That's $1,000. For courier. And because there's no, well, I'm traveling, what is the distance? 10,000 kilometers, probably. Maybe not 10,000. Distance between. Yeah, maybe not 1,000. Yeah, about 750 to 1,000. So difficult to do the calculations. It would be, but I've got a pretty beefed up PC. And I checked the prices there. So it would cost me the same as I bought this PC. And I won't sell this PC for the same price I bought it for. So it's going to be cheaper to send the two computers. Because they're editing computers, so they're quite beefy. The other thing is, I'll know, once we're there, we have working computers that can do the job. Okay, I wasn't that far off. The distance between Johannesburg and Lisbon is 8,236 kilometers. Through Africa. So there's no roadway. They can't slap it onto a truck. We have to slap it onto a boat. I'd have to replace all the programs. So the computers, it is expensive, but it is worth it for two work computers. We have a entertainment computer. That's not going to be taken across. That's why we're not taking screens across or anything like that. Just the main hardware with. So, I mean, at most, I'll have to get new power supplies for the two PCs, but that's still better than replacing everything. And then, I mean, the computers are too big to take on the plane with us, so we have to courier that. We do have some space with us to take on the plane when we go there, but everything else is basically shipment container. Yeah, I mean, I've tried Linux several times. Especially with the editing software, the video editing software, it struggles. And the free video editing software they do have, that does work, doesn't do what we want. That's why we stick to Windows. Well, we're still in Windows 10, so it's not too bad. I'm at this point refusing to go to Windows 11 until a lot of things change. Well, we've sold and given away a lot of our stuff because we were in a very not great area and we moved to a better area 6 months ago. 7 months ago. So we got rid of a lot of stuff then. But it's amazing how quickly you can get crap back. And because we were moving from one house to the other and didn't really cost that much, we moved a lot of the stuff we probably wouldn't take with us. So now we're going through everything, deciding what we're taking, what we're keeping. We're only taking furniture that's not antique. It's belonged to my parents, or belonged to my mom, belonged to my wife's mother, stuff like that. Stuff that's been in the family for 50, 60, 70 years. Some of the stuff belonged to my grandmother. So we're taking those across for sentimental reasons. And then clothes, all that stuff. But that's going to take 3 months, so it is what it is. I'm fine with staying with Windows 10 until Windows 11 sorts its crap out, even if it is no more updates. Not this time around. The last time around, I had dual boot into Linux. Linux, whatever you want to call it. My backup server will be Linux. My stream server is Linux, which is fine for what it does, but for what I need for like day-to-day stuff, it's not great. No country in the world wants me. So the only way to get into countries is to buy my way in. Portugal has a program called the D7 visa. If you earn international money above a certain threshold, you can go and become a citizen. I earn above that threshold, so we can go become a citizen. Other countries don't have that. You have to go through a proper immigration process, and they don't want me. So that's basically it. Same, America doesn't really want me. I'd have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. UK doesn't want my wife or my brother-in-law. Well, they're kind of okay with my wife, but my brother-in-law they don't want. I'd have to spend £1 million to get there. Australia, they don't want me. New Zealand doesn't want me. I don't have any skills that they want. YouTuber is not a skill that anybody wants. You would think that I have a successful private business and I generate tax, and that would let people give me get into their country, but it's not big enough for most countries. For Portugal it is. Ubuntu was it's a decent one. Like I said, it was just problems with the editing software, the recording software, and mics. So it's professional production issues rather than general software. And with Valve moving to Proton, which is a version of Linux, a lot of their games are supported as well. A lot more games, should I say. Excuse me. Yeah, so I mean, we spent almost a year trying to get into England. Even though I'm a citizen, it was ridiculous. It was also never really my first choice. But to do immigration legally, you either need to be on the short list of skills or have lots of money. Lots and lots of money. So, narrator is not on the short list of skills. If I was a plumber, I would be. But I'm almost too old for that as well, because there's cutoff points in certain countries. Technically, I could get into the US on a, what they call it, talented individual. But there's a whole list, like a list of 10 very specific things you need, and I don't have those. No, I don't have all of them. And then it would be like $50,000 to $100,000 to get into the USA with just me and my wife. And then it'll probably be another $100,000 to $200,000 for my dad and brother-in-law. No, I haven't. I like sun. That's really it. The weather in Portugal is almost exactly the same as the weather here in Johannesburg. The only difference is we're 1.5 kilometers up and they're at sea level, basically. So, a lot of the Baltic countries also aren't touristy. So, English speaking is not high, but Portugal is very touristy, so there's a lot of people that speak English. I don't want to go to another third world country. I live in a third world country. I want to go to a first world country. Same as Uruguay and Paraguay, they're still third world countries. If I want to move to a third world country, I might as well just stay where I am. Thank you, Vaka. I'm having a good day. Well as can be. I hope you're doing well, having a good day. Well, so Paraguay, Uruguay, they're also subsidiaries of America. They're still third world countries. Corruption is still rampant. Crime is still rampant. Why would I go there? You can't go there and then move to America. Same with Guam. It is a protectorate, not a state. Well, that's good, Vaka. I'm glad to hear that. So, out of my choices and my situation, Portugal is the best. Because it's not just me and the wife. It's me, my wife, my dad, and my brother-in-law. So, I only speak English. So, we need to build around that. We need infrastructure, like internet, so I can do this. So, there is that. Yes, yes. We looked at many countries. Language was an issue, which is why Portugal wasn't our first choice. But it is what it is. I make a good living, but I don't make that good of a living to move anywhere I want in the world. Just remember, I mean, this is Japan and all of that. It took PewDiePie 3 years to immigrate to Japan. And he's a millionaire. Now Japan has high requirements, but he's got lots of money. So immigration is a complicated as fuck thing. There are no shortcuts unless you have extreme amounts of money. I don't have that, so we do what we got. Canada doesn't want me, and it will cost $500,000 to move there. With money. 500,000 Canadian dollars. If you have the skills, you can go anywhere in the world. I don't have those skills. I'm just a dumb shit narrator on YouTube that makes a decent living. Good morning, Kandaria. Yeah. Well, not all of those people are fleeing wars, but there's always a war in Africa. New Zealand doesn't want me, Australia doesn't want me, US doesn't want me, no first world country wants me. Australia, I think, is 400,000 Australian dollars. New Zealand really, really doesn't want me. There is no amount of money I can spend to get into New Zealand. I don't have 400,000 Australian dollars, so for 4 people. Look, I'm not going to get into which is the better country. 1, it speaks English. 2, it's got the technology I need. And 3, after 5 years, I'm a European citizen and I can go in anywhere in Europe. It is currently the best choice we've got. I have no idea what FIFA jobs are. But I have no degrees, no skills that any country wants. Other than I talk to people on the internet. I'm not on the shortlist for any trades. I'm from Africa, so that makes things a bit more difficult as well. I think a lot of places are like that, Marcus. And there's also a difference from like what do you call it? Economic migrants and migrants rather than immigrants, but yeah, I can understand it. Good morning, Crusader. Hope you're doing well. Hope there wasn't too much bad stuff in your area yesterday and today. Yeah, but it's not free for me. I have to pay health insurance for 5 years, I think. At the minimum, I have to pay for private health insurance in Portugal for 5 years. Oh, 1 year, not 5. I did say 5. Well, that's good to hear. Well, I think it should be quiet from here on out. There shouldn't be too much bullshittery happening. But then again, who knows? I think it's only 1 year. I'll have to double check. So I mean, there are. It's still expensive. I'm still spending insane amounts of money to get into Portugal, which is the cheapest first world country to get into that we could find. That would meet my requirements for technology, accessibility, and temperature. I mean, just the animals, I think it's going to be $2,000 or $3,000. Or has been $2,000 or $3,000. I'll probably do a recap video once we're there with all the costs. It's not cheap. It's just very, very not cheap. But like I said, 5 years in Portugal, then we get EU passports. And who knows, we might stay there. So, my dad is also quite set in Portugal, and yeah, so as far as I understand with that sort of work, they'd rather take people from Asia, which is closer to Australia. I don't think they're taking African workers, and I have to support a family of 4. So I can't start off with 0 skilled jobs because they don't pay as much. So, I mean, this job is a good job and a successful business. So I would have to sacrifice my successful business to do something less successful, to try and maybe get into Australia. And then my wife will also have to do that. And my 70-year-old dad would also have to do that. And then my brother-in-law would also have to do that. So there are lots of complicating factors. If I was 20, again, by myself, I would think of FIFA, but I'm not. Well, I'm not Muslim, I'm not anything really. Yeah, Kitty Azumi's boss is here. He's got a new collar. He's looking all dapper, all sleeping. Yeah, I don't know. So it's a very different type of content than normal content, so people probably not be interested. Maybe like a final recap video they might be slightly interested in, but Again, I have a family of 4 people. If I was 20, great. I would do all of that. But I'm not. I've got responsibilities. I've got to pay for my dad's retirement. I've got to look after my wife. Got to look after my brother-in-law. So, good morning, Nigel. Hope you're doing well. Well, thank you, Vodka. I don't want to sound like I'm talking down to you, but there are different options when you're older and when you're younger. Unfortunately, I have responsibilities that I can't just ignore. And I'm pretty sure that the requirements for do FIFO visas naturalize? That's a quick question. I'm not sure whether it's a naturalizing visa, which would also be a thing. Well, it's not necessarily age discrimination. It's just, at 18, I had no worries. I could go live in a little bedroom by myself and work 12 hours a day, because I did at the age of 18. But I have a family now, and that changes things. Also, they do tend to put age requirements onto those sorts of visas. Lugi895, there are 1,000 chapters and it is finished. The 1,000th chapter is the end of the story. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not at that point, but my dad is, so even here, after 65, things slowed down dramatically for him. Welcome back, Postmatic, welcome back. Yeah, I mean, I did that at 18 as well. I did it at 20. There is zero things wrong with that. Nothing. It's good life experience. It teaches you good work ethic. I mean, I've worked 16-hour days. I've worked so hard that I slept at my job under my table and didn't leave for a week. Would I do it again? Fuck no. But I've done it, and I can say I've done it. When I worked in corporate, I had a go bag in my cupboard with a change of clothes, some packets of cigarettes because I was smoking at the time, some money, some cash in there, deodorant, wet wipes, all of that. So if I had to work through the night, I could just pop the bag out and then carry on. Well, I mean, what we were going to do, Donald, is my brother-in-law, we were going to try to get him in as a nurse, into a nursing college, but they wouldn't have it. They weren't accepting international students for nursing colleges. So we'd have to get him into a college here, put him through a degree here, and then try to get him into there. I mean, immigration. Let's talk about ridiculous, shall we? I was born in South Africa. Oh, I'm hitting my microphone. So I was born in South Africa before 1983. Both my parents are British. I'm first generation South African. It took me 5 months to get my passport, which should have taken 2 weeks. To get my wife over to England on my passport, I had to transfer a good chunk of money, several $1,000s, into a bank account on her side. And she put it into fixed savings. She had to keep that there for 6 months. We then had to find 15 photographs of us together for 15 years, which is how long we said we were together. So 1 photograph for every year. We had to go find these. Now, I'm not a social media person, as in Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff, so I don't post pictures and stuff. And my wife isn't either. So we don't have a lot of photos together. We have a lot of photos of each other, which is normal, because you pick up your phone, you take a picture of your wife or your husband. You rarely ever take selfies with both people, especially if you're not social media people. So we had to trawl through not only our social media, but family social media, to try and get 15 photographs together. This is requirements before we even apply for her visa. And it is a visa. She's not a citizen. She's not entitled to citizen stuff. She's just there as my other half. So those were the requirements for a country that I am a citizen of. That's just ridiculous, in my opinion. And there would have been more money as well. And lawyers and affidavits and all of that stuff. 12 months we spent trying to get to England. A country that I could go to, if I was by myself, I could walk into England today. I could go, I couldn't walk in today because it's 19 hours away. But I could hop on a plane today and walk into England and never leave. But my wife would be here. I'm out of stuff. Aphid Davids. Yes. I call all aphids Davids, yes. Well, I can kind of understand it. It is to stop abort marriages. So here's the ridiculous side of this. My mother passed away 3 years ago. Within 2 months, one of my dad's customers turned to him and said, I'll give you R1 million if you marry my sister. You never have to see her. You never have to do anything. We will sort it all out. We'll bribe at the appropriate people. I'll give you R1 million right now if you marry my sister. This is to my 72-year-old dad. That's how much it's worth. I suppose that's what these things are trying to stop. But if you can just bribe your way in, what does it matter? It just affects people that follow the laws or don't have enough money to pay for the bribes. Dude, it was 2 months after my mother passed away. My parents had been married for 45 years, so possibly not the best time to bring that up. I can understand. And you also never know what other legal problems you'll get into if you take that deal. If the bribes come to light, you're liable. You're liable for the crimes, for the bribery, for misleading the government. Yeah, that's about 50 grand USD. So if you ever get caught, you're going to jail. And while I agree it's a ridiculous amount of money, especially for my dad who doesn't have a retirement, is it worth spending what little time he has left on this planet in prison? Now, thankfully, we have the channel that allows us the luxury of not having to do that. Now, at different times, in desperate times, I'm sure that would be a viable option. I would probably take it in desperate times. But one, too soon. Two, well, I would have to be very desperate. Yeah. I think the world has just changed. I don't think it's for the better or for the worse. I just think that people know what's happening more now than they did then. Bad things have always happened. Bad things have always happened in lots of places. It's just we didn't have 24-hour social media pumping all the bad stuff into our brains. Look, Donald, I can't make that moral decision. It really depends on how desperate you are. I wouldn't judge. Well, I would maybe judge a little bit. But I would understand if somebody was desperate enough for that money. To risk it. People have risked jail time for a lot less money. But I'm out of caffeine. So I'm going to play some sea shanties and go hunting in the Great Plains of the Serengeti for a cup of coffee.
Hoist the sails high, let the solar winds blow. This cosmic sea shanty is
All right. Give me a second and I'll be right back.
navigating constellations, charting the unknown. With the stardust in our veins, we are never alone. From the Milky Way shores to the depths of black holes, we'll sing our sea shanty as the universe unfolds. Sail up high to the galactic sky on our moonlit voyage. We'll keep reaching high. We're sailors of the cosmos, a crew full of might. Let's sing this sea shanty under starry night's light.
Hoist the sails and let the wind guide our way. We're the spacemen sailing the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Heave home, mateys, upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea.
Okay, kettle's on. It should take a couple minutes.
Voyage across the celestial sea.
Just give me a second, just putting my ears in. There, my ears. Right, I'm gonna go find my coffee once the kettle's boiled. So let me get it. Right. I have no idea what type of what the prison system's like in the UK. But I'd rather not be in any prison if I could help it. I don't brew pots of coffee anymore because I'm the only person who drinks them in the house. So anytime I brew a pot, I have to drink the entire pot, which means leaving it on for long periods of time, which burns the coffee. So I just use instant these days. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to get people into countries, especially first world countries. AJ, I am a British citizen. I was registered. I do have a British passport. Hasn't made my life any easier with my wife. The whole process that I've described so far was with me being a British citizen. If I wasn't a British citizen, there wouldn't even be a path for me to get into England. Or £1 million. So, yeah, which is, well, that would be like $1.5 million. It's not just the UK. There's a lot of countries that have very, very weird laws with immigration. I mean, realizing that we've been paying lawyers, immigration lawyers, that this is their job. And still not. Although the Portuguese immigration lawyer has been fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I know several people that went to New Zealand, but they've changed the laws a lot recently. Not recently, last 10 years or so. Yep, there's 2 watches. There's one in his pocket and one in his hand. Really concerned about the time. That's what he is. I mean, technically South Africa's part of the Commonwealth. Oh, I think we actually left, though. But, yeah. Keurig? No, I haven't looked at Keurig. Yeah, basically. This is a pseudo army jacket. It's done in the style of the old sort of army jackets, but it's really not. It was, what does it call it? Real Men is the brand here. It's like a cheap brand. Yeah, sure. But I don't think it would have changed the requirements if they were still part of the EU, for me. Good morning, Connor. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I mean, there's a big community in Portugal as well. 20 years, there's been a massive brain drain in South Africa. Most people who can afford to leave. I had a friend whose family immigrated to Australia when he was a teenager. That would have been 25 years ago. 10 years later, he decided to come back to South Africa, and we all called him a moron. Yes, local time and in squirrel time, yes. I don't know, I quite enjoyed, what was it tonight? Let me just check. I'm enjoying the old re-TFOS. If I have to be quite honest, I think everybody who watches the live streams have noticed that I engage with the re-TFOS with a bit more gusto than I do with the newer stuff, but that's because of nostalgia. And I do really enjoy the Legal Eagle stuff. He's quite a decent writer. As for series, the new threat I think is up there. I like the writing style of the first book. It was quite cool. So I've got high hopes for the second book. All right, I'll be back. Coffee, the kettle's boiling. Right.
Through the cosmos, it's my final voyage, leaving Earth behind, seeking stars to my homage in the depths of space, when no one can hear. I'll sing my space shanty, let the stars draw near, raising up the anchor, setting sails to the sky, bidding farewell to this world, no tears left to cry, with constellations as my compass, I'll navigate to the outer realms where my fate awaits. Oh, I'm a stargazer, drifting through the night, chasing dreams that sparkle like stars shining bright. I'll serenade the heavens with my cosmic lullaby, a space shanty melody as I say my last goodbye.
And back. I think the difference is there is still quite a bit of variation in creative control over AI-generated art than there is with AI-generated narrations. So the narrations are all pretty much the same. They use the same voices and stuff like that. But with the art, it's whatever I use as a prompt plus whatever I choose as the image. So there is some artistic merit to the art stuff because I'm making decisions. Fair enough, Donald, fair enough. It is 11 o'clock. It's finally started warming up. So this room is the office room that they said was an office. It's a nice room, except for several things. One, this wall behind me is glass. It's got sliding doors. Not nice sliding doors, the old school sliding doors, so pretty much let the cold in. And I just noticed it has 3 breeze blocks to the outside. So, yes. Fun stuff. I think, honestly, a lot of the old authors, from the beginning of HFY, they tried a lot more off-the-wall stories. There weren't tropes at that time, so they didn't play into the tropes, they invented the tropes. So they just wrote the most random stuff, and it's glorious. Yeah. So my problem is anything below room temperature starts affecting the voice. I've got the aircon on as a heater, but it's not really working. But with 3 breeze blocks in this room, I'm not surprised. So I might have to start recording a bit later because we're going through a little bit of a cold snap, which is South African cold snap, not, actual cold snap. We're at 13 at the moment. 13 degrees centigrade, not 13 degrees Celsius. 13 degrees centigrade, not Fahrenheit. So, cold for South Africa. Yeah, pretty much heading into winter now. That's awesome, Nigel. Unfortunately, I'm limited with my playlists, mainly because I already have over 100. So at some point it just becomes so convoluted that people just can't find the playlists, which kind of makes playlists a bit of a moot point. But if you make it a public playlist, that would be awesome. Yes, if I was 13, I would be worried if it was 13 Fahrenheit. So that is 13, and it is, what is it? It's 11 o'clock, so it's about as warm as it's going to get today. Oh, good coffee. So, I mean, I've also got bad hands. I'm not wearing these specifically because it's cold, but when my hands get cold, they get sore and arthritic. So this just keeps my knuckles warm, and then I can speed type. I need to paint my nails red for that, though. Yeah, fair enough, Sean. Fair enough. I try to, at my peak recently, I've been releasing an hour to an hour and 20 minutes per day. I want to try to get back to that. So, I mean, we're not too far off. I'm doing about an hour at the moment. Fair enough, Luigi. Luigi, not Luigi. I mean, there's a problem with Spotify. So my Spotify doesn't host podcasts. So you need to use a podcast hosting website, which I do, called Podbean. However, there is a restriction between an external podcasting website and Spotify that they only use the latest 1,000 episodes. I have 1,200 at the moment. So 20% of my stuff is just vanishing on Spotify. Qui-Gong. That name rings a bell for some reason. Qui-Gong, Qui-Gong. Ah, helicopter. There was tons of helicopters yesterday as well. Which, you know, election day. Army are out. Police are out. Helicopters are out. I'm not entirely sure about Apple Podcasts. Sometimes it says my podcast is being distributed to Apple. Sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea. And then YouTube's also making its own podcast out of my videos. So, I don't know. Huh. Squirrel Lord Gaming. Maybe if you name the channel, people can go there and listen to that person. I always like listening to a good voice channel. I'm joking. Welcome, and I hope your drive is nice and uneventful. The problem with my stuff is, I mean, the TFOS work for the podcast, but the series don't, because I can't make playlists. So it becomes very difficult for people to follow the series on the podcasts. I feel. Yeah, well, thank you, Luigi. It's very much appreciated. Most of the time I don't have problems with my knuckles. It's just winter and certain days. So I just wear this just in case. I'd rather just wear a pair of gloves. Doesn't change my life. And then not have to deal with a dull ache in my fingers. So the series channel was created because there are really two different types of people, well, three different types of people that watch the channel. Those that only watch TFOS, those that only watch series, and those that watch both. Now, for two of those people, they were getting 2 notifications a day for something they didn't want. So I was releasing 4 videos a day, so the TFOS people would get 2 notifications about series they didn't care about, and the series people would get 2 notifications of TFOS that they didn't care about. So I figured the best solution to this problem would be to split it. And those who want TFOS can stay on the TFOS channel. Those who want series can go to the series channel. And those who want both can just subscribe to both. So that's the idea behind the series channel. It's a different kind of group. And I mean, there's plenty of people in both categories. But my job is to make the entertainment as accessible to you as I can. B&B? I'm not sure what B&B is, AJ. Other than bread and breakfast. I'm sure he's not distributing his story to bed and breakfasts. Although that would be funny. Oh yeah, that's basically just a compilation channel. It started off as my shorts channel, but shorts went nowhere, so I just started doing compilations to it. Look, there's only really one breathing technique, which is diaphragmatic breathing, which singers use as well. Singers, narrators, public speakers, they all use diaphragmatic breathing. It just allows you to take deeper breaths. It's pretty easy to learn. The trick is making it part of your muscle memory, but once it's part of your muscle memory, it's not a big deal. It's nothing weird. Yeah, I'll definitely check that, AJ. Oh, B and N. Okay. Well, you typed B and B, which confused me. B and N makes sense. B and B would be Barnes and Barnes. To be honest, even if you typed B and N, I probably wouldn't have guessed that. So, yeah. Sit up straight and diaphragmatic breathing, or stand straight and diaphragmatic breathing for any voice work. Whether it's narrating, voice acting, hell, even public speaking. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, that's true. It's true. If it's dirty enough, it'll definitely evolve. So, I mean, internet and meme culture is so prevalent that if you're not entrenched in a specific community, something that is normal speak, in that community, it's going to make no sense to somebody who isn't. So, but a lot of people will read a super chat and go, I have to pretend to know what this is. I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. Never hurts to ask for some clarification. Well, I mean, if he's releasing just the book, it's not going to be a problem. Even on Amazon, if you release the book only, it's not a problem. The problem comes in when they start releasing an audiobook. So, Amazon has its own AI reader. And when you sign a contract with Amazon for an audiobook, you can either go with exclusive rights, which means you get more money, or you can go with non-exclusive rights, which means you don't get more money. So most people just go with the exclusive side so they can get more money, which is fair enough. No problems. So just releasing the book is not a problem. It's if they're releasing the book and an audiobook, then it becomes a bit of a problem. Yeah, memes are just a joke. A funny, a ha-ha. A memes. I can try. You should be able to search it on the Amazon side of it. I don't actually even use Audible. Yeah, I don't want to sign up. AJ, I found it by Googling Behold Humanity audiobook. It was the second result. Unfortunately, I can't. Maybe I can. What does this say? If I paste this, this will be. Yeah, okay. This might work. I'm just copying the link. Because if I click on the link, it just tells me, well, it just shuffles me to a sign-in page. Yeah. I do know that. But there is also I imagine a different search engine for Audible and Amazon. They're using a different database. I knew that there was a Audible book because I saw it on Amazon. There is a third website, a secret website that nobody discusses. It's called ACX. ACX is a website that links narrators and authors together. It's a great site, except they exclude South Africans. I might pay attention to that. I don't know. I don't really listen to narrations as much as I used to. Mainly because I read for a living. So, it is what it is. No, Nigel, I haven't. Been in South Africa my entire life. I mean, I've left for holidays. I've gone to Botswana. Some countries that don't even exist anymore, but, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. You want 9. Let me just double check what 9 is. 9. The Spiffing Brit voice. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. There you go. Hope that was suitable for an M9. Well, it's not about reading. It's just I read for a living, so having stories told to me is like work with extra steps. And DDX Delta, good day. I hope you're having a great day. I hope so. Look, paranoia is a way of life here. It is not a luxury like it is in other places. So it's going to take us a while to tone back the paranoia, I think. So here is a for instance. Every week there is a gentleman who walks down the street and rings every single doorbell selling brooms, feather dusters, and rakes. He's got them all on his back. He walks down the road, and he rings every button. And he whistles and shouts and stuff. It's normal stuff here. However, he does it every week. He does it every week on the same day. He does it every week on the same day at the same time. So, he could, and this is not even that far beyond the realms of reasoning, be casing places. So he's building up a map of who is at home at certain times of the day on certain days of the week. So he's like, well, for 2 months I've rung this doorbell for at this time, and an hour earlier and an hour later, and nobody's answered. So this house is empty. So it's a good target. That's what we think. That's the level of paranoia that we're at. And rightly so. This is the thing. So in my old house, we had this thing where there would be a woman screaming. It didn't happen often, every now and again. But one day, well, the first time, or second time it happened, I opened the door. Now there's a 7-foot wall in front of my front door. So we've got the front door to the house and the front door to the property. So I go out of the front door, so nobody can see me. I'm still behind a 7-foot wall with razor wire. That's the normal, yeah. And I stand on a little step and I look out. Nobody can see me because I'm like, there's bushes and stuff. And there's this woman just walking down the road, screaming for help. No, nothing wrong with her. She's fully clothed, doesn't seem to be in any form of distress physically, but she's screaming like her life depends on it. And then I look down the road. There's a car following her. And you think she's screaming because of the car. The answer is no, she's not. She's screaming so that somebody will come out to help her, and then the people in the car are going to rob that person. That's the level of paranoia that you need here, in most neighborhoods. The higher earning neighborhoods are less like that, but the lower earning neighborhoods, the poorer neighborhoods, like where I used to live, you get stuff like that all the time. Often. So, in South Africa, getting a garden boy and a lady to come clean your house, common stuff. We have a 35 to 45% unemployment rate, so an easy way to earn some money is to, I'll mow your lawn, I'll cut your plants, just give me some money, that sort of thing. Gangs know this, so they pay finder's fees. To domestic workers and gardeners. So if they provide information to a gang about a house, they'll get basically a month's worth of salary, which is about $250. About $250. They'll get $250 a month's worth of salary. And all they have to do is tell them when people are home, what days they work, and give all the information about the inside of the house. So in South Africa, finding somebody reliable is better than finding somebody good. If you have work done, this is my old neighborhood. I can't really talk about the new neighborhood. I haven't lived here long enough. Old neighborhood, if you had any sort of work done on your house, you're almost guaranteed to get robbed. either because of the guys who were doing the work on your house, or people seeing that you were doing work on your house. And yes, razor wire is not only normal, it is ridiculous. So in South Africa, you have razor wire, you have electric fencing, and you have spikes. All walls are at least 7 foot tall. Some are 9, some are 15. But normally, your front wall is 7 foot tall. The school that I went to as a child, which is in my old neighborhood, has spikes, razor wire, and electric fencing around the whole school. And that is not even that complicated. You see that on a regular basis. All three on one place is not unheard of. Obviously, there are security bars on all windows. There are security gates on all doors. Yes, post-matic, it's very true. One, people can see, the workers can see inside your house, so they know what you have. Or two, people see that you've got some extra money, so they'll steal what you have. Not armed guards, armed security. So this house has armed security. We have an alarm system. So if anything happens, they'll send an armed security guard to check the place out. I can also just phone the security company and they'll send somebody to check my front door. What's nice for us, they've got escort services as well, and you can my wife can phone them if she doesn't feel safe. They'll send a private security patrol to her to find her wherever she happens to be, and if she's in a car, they'll follow her home to make sure that nobody else is following her home. Those are normal services for the private security here. Owning a gun is almost always illegal. Using it in self-defense is definitely illegal. You can own a gun for sport, basically. You need to have very, 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 very long, a lot of stuff to use it as a self-defense weapon. To get a gun, probably take at least a year to get the license, and you won't be able to use it in self-defense situations, most self-defense situations. So, there it is. Isn't Starbound HFY? I'm trying to remember. Isn't he an AI channel? Maybe he's not. I don't know. It's so hard to keep track these days. Oh, yeah. 20 years ago it was possible. Now, not so much. Look. It is what it is. So, the security companies, when you talk to them off the record, they wouldn't say encouraged, but it's easier if they kill the burglar rather than let them live, because then there's only one story to deal with. Like I said, I could be mistaking him for somebody else. I don't mean no disrespect to Starbound, but recently there's just been so many new channel names to me that it's been difficult to keep track of. And 99% of them have been AI. And again, it depends on the area that you're in. I'm in Johannesburg, one of the more violent cities in Johannesburg. I'm in Johannesburg, one of the more violent places in South Africa. and I lived quite close to the CBD, so it was quite rough. Not the roughest place, not by any stretch of the imagination. What I'm telling you is middle class. This is lower middle class. It was a lower middle class area. To be middle class in South Africa, all you have to do is have a job, essentially. I don't know if AI follows me. So, as to my previous point, to be middle class in South Africa, you just need to earn $250 a month. And then you're lower middle class. So yes, there are bad things here. Well, we're leaving Squirrel Lord, so hopefully within the next 2 months it becomes a distant memory. I think it will take us a very long time to get used to a less violent or crime-ridden place. Blackfire, if you post it on the HFY subreddit and then just send me permission through Reddit, that'll be the best way currently. Yeah, so, I mean, Portugal, from what we can say, determine is one of the better, less crime places, less corruption, stuff like that. I would love to see a recording of a cat doing that. Look, there is no place that's perfect. I'm under no disillusion that any place I go to is going to be perfect. Every place has its own problems. As my dad used to say, the grass is greener on the other side, because there's a lot of bullshit over there too. So, I take that to heart. England was never a perfect option. Portugal is not a perfect option. It's just a better option, a different option. I'm moving to Portugal, DDX. Yeah. There is going to be no country that ticks all boxes. But it's just about, do I want to see dead people? I'd be happy to live the rest of my life and not smell burning flesh, see burning tires, or have to live through a riot. I'd be cheerfully happy for that, to raise my family in a place where my child would never have to see or do any of that stuff. Ah, yes, I didn't change my thing. Right, just chatting. That is my bad, just chatting. But as far as I understand how Twitch works, if they find that I'm in the wrong... somebody notifies a admin or mod, they'll just move me to the correct channel. So it's not like I get a strike or anything. I don't think. And let's focus on the positive side. If I am in Europe, it makes going to America that much easier. So I may, in the future, if things work out well, go to America and go to some conferences or something. So there is more of a possibility of a meet and greet if I'm in Europe than if I'm in South Africa. To try to fly from here to America is I don't want to pull this directly out my arse, so I'll pull it kind of out my arse. About $1,000 to $2,000. Which is a lot of money. And it would be significantly cheaper to go from Europe to America than from here to America. No, thank you very much for the kind words, Squirrel Lord. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I know lots of people, Leonie, that immigrated. We just didn't have the means to do so before now. Especially for a family. Thank you for the kind words again, Squirrel Lord. Hope you have a fantastic sleep. Dream the dreams of dreaminess. Yes, very, very creative of me. Yes. The Americans made fun of the Americans, Loogie. I didn't. All the names here, this is chosen by chat, and most of my audience is American. So, there you go. Draw whatever conclusions you would like from that. Nigel, I do not want to see a death fight between my wife and chat, because my wife will win. There'll just be slaughter everywhere if I allowed that to happen. My name is Spifflemonk, and today we're role-playing. Thank you for the super chat, Vaka. It is much appreciated. Yeah, everything requires work. And then everything that requires work eventually pays off. Or not, but you at least have a skill that you can use. And maybe parlay that into something interesting. You used that perfectly, Vaka. And that is the way it's supposed to be used, yes? He's working on it. He's working on it. He's part of my Discord, so I chat to him, and he's South African as well. Randomly giving out information. So he plays the games to get so that he's familiar with them. So he's working on several, as far as I understand. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can really ask, Leonie. That's all you can ask. So, I mean, we've been trying for 2 years, but what prompted our move from the bad area to the better area was I had sinus surgery, and then I had emergency sinus surgery. And I was sitting in hospital after the emergency sinus surgery. And that day, the day before, the day after, there was a 15-man armed robbery at our local shopping mall. There were 3 hijackings with fatalities. There were 2 house robberies and 1 murder that night in our area, within 200 meters of my house. And I was in the hospital. My wife was in that area. And there was nothing I could do about it. So I just said, okay, find us a place to live. We'll move out. That's what prompted the move to this place. Because we didn't really want to move to a better area if we were immigrating. But it's been, at that point, it's been a year already of trying to immigrate. And I was like, yeah, look, there's a massive crime spree going on. And I can't do anything to protect you if I'm in hospital. So let's try and move to a better area. And then that's what prompted the move to this house. Which is definitely better. I mean, I've heard barely any gunshots here. Rather than on a regular basis. Cheers, Nigel. Thank you for popping past. It's very much appreciated. Anyway, I was looking up the price of a flight. Two-way. Return. Economy class. I think that's correct wording. Yes, yes. Okay, yeah. It's about $1,000 to $2,000 to fly from here to the States. That doesn't include hotels or anything like that. And from Portugal, it's half the price. At least half the price. So, I mean, there's more possibility of me doing stuff in America if I'm in Europe. Yes, so if you do want to see me, I mean, it's obviously going to be easier once I'm in Portugal, but if you want to see me at a convention, you want the organizers to invite me, you need to let the organizers know. I can't do it myself because that would be self-advertising, and organizers don't like that quite a lot. But whereas if fans are asking, that gives them an opportunity to go, okay, this will bring in people for us. It makes financial sense to invite so-and-so. So, I don't know what conventions there are. And I'd probably, if I did go to the States, I would like to do several conventions. Rather than just one. Make it like a month-long holiday type thing. So, it is on the cards. It is possible. But obviously, it's not going to happen directly after I move to Portugal. Yeah, there is, Leonie, it is. I mean, I've never doubted the beauty of South Africa. The people, however, make it a bit difficult to stay. It is a very nice country. The weather's very nice. I mean, but you got to think of your safety at some point. Oh yeah, it'll always be good and bad. Yes. Yeah, well, I don't really want to go to a furry convention, but let's try and keep it to science fiction. Yeah, I mean, we've got a Comic-Con version that comes to South Africa, and they're bringing YouTubers and stuff. So, hell, even if I'm not invited by a convention. Sorry, the word just slipped from my mind. Even if I'm not invited by a convention, there's nothing stopping me going there to have a little bit of a meet and greet. But that's probably stuff we'll look at next year. or at the earliest later this year. But I'm just letting people know that it is something that could happen. Yeah, we're almost up to 50 people. Welcome, everybody. New viewers on Twitch, greetings and welcome to the stream. We're here having a conversation about the Serengeti of the African plains, or the rains that fall in the plains of Spain, whichever one you prefer. Yeah, I mean, if it's cheaper for a convention place, it'll definitely make it easier. Thank you, Vaka, for the 5 New Zealand dollars. It's very much appreciated. And no worries. I've always said look after you and yours before worrying about me and mine. And it's my pleasure. And yes, I do understand not a lot of it. It's difficult to get PayPal here. So, I understand. Don't worry about it. It's all good. A bib and pants wearing a straw hat. Sure. Okay. But it is true that the longer the stream goes, the more. A bib would be, I'd imagine, dungarees would be the bib. Or, would be, yeah, dungarees. I have no idea what they're called in America. I just know what they're called here. Bib pants, yeah, dungarees. Not a problem, Sean. Not a problem. Granddaughter is always more important than the stream. I understand. No worries. Yeah, bib overalls also works. It's basically a pair of jeans that go and tie up the front. Is normally what they look like. And if you get the measurements wrong, you can give yourself a wedgie. Ask me how I know that. No, don't ask me. I'm not going to tell you. Secret. I'm disappointed. My coffee is finished. Yes, but bib pants is slightly different, I think. Because a bib is just a bib. That's, you could use it as a restaurant, use it for kids, stuff like that. Let me find a picture. Dungarees. 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 There are some horrible looking dungarees. Fashion dungarees. I cannot think of anything that's worse. No, that's pretty much it, Sean. That's pretty much it. People fecking with other, guys fecking with each other, changing the length of the straps so that when you put it on and tie it up, you go, "Bleh!" And that's basically it. Mead. Cheers, Ibian. Hope you have a fantastic sleep. So, some of these dungarees, I typed dungarees in and I'm looking at images. And some of these things are just indescribable, is what I'll say. Man, let me see. I'm going to go over here. Yes, I'm playing a game in the background. It's an idle game, so turn that off. Nope. Yes. Nope. What? Oh, we got it twice. Why do we have it twice? Ah, that's why we have it twice. Okay. Okay. So here we are. Let me just move this out the way. So this is kind of the typical dungarees slash bib pants. So as you can see, you would adjust these straps so that everything fits snugly. And if somebody else went and adjusted the straps, when you put the shoulders on, you would give yourself a wedgie. Because I'm using a VPN. That's why they're in pounds. So what I want to point out, so that's classic. This is kind of also, you know, a still sort of stylish one. But wait, chat. It gets obscene. I'm going to move up. Look at this one. This is the most stupid pair of dungarees I've seen. Look at this. Look. Zoom in. The bib is covering nothing. These are skinny jeans with a kangaroo pouch. This is what this is. Look at that. Agro uses 3 different browsers. I use Firefox. No, this is Chrome. I use Chrome, Opera, and Brave, depending on what I want to do. Look how horrible this is. And then, look, it gets worse. You think that's the worst? That's not the worst. The worst is yet to come. Let me just move this up. Look at this one. Shorty shorts. Shorty shorts made out of bright material dungarees. I mean, it's yes. But that's not even the worst of it. So here we go. We've got like men's dungarees and women's dungarees. That's fine. Even this one is okay. I have nothing wrong with that one. And this lady here, fine. That's cool. That's fine. But this one looks like a children's onesie. It doesn't look like a pair of dungarees. It looks incredibly uncomfortable. He looks incredibly uncomfortable. I would look that uncomfortable if I was wearing that. And then we're back to like normal dungarees. In the varying fashion styles. But yes, I thought that this one here was definitely the epitome of dungarees. Yeah, well, that sounds like most tradesmen would do that. Now, the main problem, especially if you're like a mechanic or something with dungarees, is when you lean forward, it tends to ride up. So you need to wear them loose, which is uncomfortable in itself. So, most people normally go for a dust coat set, or overcoat, and work pants. Good morning, Andy. I hope you're doing well today. This fantastic Thursday. Yes, I looked at my watch to figure out what day it is. I do not know what day it is most days. I don't even know what month it is most days. Because of the working from home and then having no visual cues about time, my sense of time is just destroyed. Basically just breaks into, it's either a work day or it's my day off. And, I mean, I forget a lot of days. I mean, I forgot my meeting with my YouTube manager the other day. For two reasons. One, my phone didn't remind me. And two, me remembering requires me to know what today is in relation to the day that the meeting's happening. So I don't normally forget about the meetings. I just don't know what today is. Fair enough, Gene. Fair enough. I look at my watch, it tells me. It's fancy like that. It tells me the day. It tells me the day of the week, and lots of stuff. Most importantly, it tells me the time as well. Yeah, it's true. It only does work when I check it. Although, having not worn a watch for a very long time because, cell phone, I'm actually enjoying a watch. I'm not a huge cell phone person, so I don't like carrying it around the house with me, for instance. And then having a watch also means I have to interact with the cell phone less, which is, I think, better these days. The less time I have to interact with that phone, the better. I mean, I have the smartphone basically just in case things turn tits up. And I've got a 5G phone. I can, in theory, do the narrations on the 5G phone. It's not going to be great, but I could, in theory, do my channel through just a phone, which is why I have it. But I could probably still live with just like one of the old phones. Yeah, what do they call it? Just dumb phones. I don't really use it for anything else. I started watching it like going to the bathroom. I'd take my phone. Now I've stopped that again. It's like, it becomes not addicting. It's just you sit on the bog for too much. Right. definitely want to start up series sooner rather than later. But it all depends on the voice. One of the other reasons for the streams. So, I think these streams are putting extra stress on my voice. A different type of stress. So I want to also see what it's like for a week or two without streams. To see how well my voice performs. Just for information's sake. I do know that randomly. Narrating, well, on camera, I can narrate less in a day than if I'm just narrating with no camera. By like 50%. It's a strange thing. I suppose because when I'm just narrating, I don't have to think about what I look like or the actions. But when I'm videoing myself, I have to at least devote some portion of my brain to do the acting side of it. So I think it's something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I am at 60%, 70%, but I'm not sure. It's very difficult to tell. It's definitely taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But I mean, there's also the added stress of the move, the immigration, the packing, the lawyers, all that stuff. So that doesn't help either. I mean, when they talk about voice acting and stuff, you need to relax. You need to, because when you're stressed and stuff, you tense your muscles, so you speak harder and damage your vocal cords faster. So, don't know. But if you change too much at once, it's very difficult to narrow down a root cause. But we'll see. So this will be the last live stream for quite a while, I think. Especially with the unpredictability of load shedding being the main cause. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a difference in my daily ability, or my maximum daily word count. Well, I mean, stress is, they're normally just talking about stressed muscles. Tension in your muscles. It reduces your range, and it increases wear and tear in the voice. Which is the same with any muscle. It's just, for narrating, the only muscle that counts, or muscles that count, is the narration ones. And, I mean, the scar is still here. It's not going to go away. It's quite sensitive, still. But it was quite a big, deep cut. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Now, who knows? Maybe I'll just do a... You know, that too. Stress also produces more acid. Yeah, who knows? I might just go back to like a Saturday stream, just a chill stream like this. You guys seem to like these sorts of streams. We just have a nice chat. A chit-chat. A chin-wag, if you will. Well, we have hit the 2-hour mark. So I think I'm going to call it for the day. Thank you for joining me. It is very much appreciated. I know your time is precious, and hopefully I was able to pay that back with some entertainment. I do hope that you all have a fantastic one. I won't see you tomorrow, because I'm not going to be streaming. And you get, yeah, if I do a Saturday one, I will play games and stuff. I won't narrate. So yes, I hope to see you all when I see you. Because I'm not streaming, it doesn't mean that there won't be videos. Excuse me. we'll go back to sort of the way it was before the operation. We'll see how that goes. If there's any major updates to me or the channel, I will release a video. Yes. Hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you when I see you.